What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. It's always Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I want to talk about some of the rumors that's been going around the last couple of days about Dante Fowler Jr. Wanting to sign with the Atlanta Falcons this offseason. And I also want to talk about the rumors that's also been going around about Hunter Henry, the tight end, possibly also signing with the Atlanta Falcons this offseason. With that being said, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification bell so you've known when I have done content. Let's continue to grow the channel. And with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. So first, we're going to talk about Dante Fowler Jr. I do believe that the Falcons should seriously look at signing Dante Fowler Jr. this offseason. As you know, on Monday, we did put out in the media that the Falcons are not interested in re-signing Vic Beasley Jr. Or bringing him back next season. So I definitely believe that Dante Fowler Jr. will be a great replacement for Vic Beasley. The guys have a lot of things in common. I do believe that Dante Fowler and Vic Beasley, they both were drafted the same year, 2016. Dante Fowler was drafted number 3 by the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Vic Beasley was drafted at number 8 by our Atlanta Falcons. The biggest difference that I noticed between the two players, to me, Dante Fowler Jr. plays with a high motor, where Vic Beasley was a hit and miss player. He didn't always play with a high motor. I do think that Dante Fowler Jr. has proven that he is one of the better pass rushers in the game, and that he is in that same category with a Vic Beasley, and he has something to offer. I did look at both guys' stats, career stats, and I looked at tape of both players. And personally, the biggest difference I've seen between the two is, to me, Dante Fowler uses his hands better. He has better hand placement when he's rushing the passer. He used more pass rush moves than Vic Beasley, where Vic Beasley is mainly a speed rusher. Dante Fowler is stronger than Vic Beasley, where he can use the bull rush, and he uses his speed to get around the edge and bend and cause havoc in the backfield for quarterbacks and for running backs and stuff in the run. So to me, Dante Fowler Jr. is a better run stuffer than a Vic Beasley. He's weighs a little bit more than Vic Beasley, where he goes about 250 pounds to 260 pounds. Vic Beasley was on the lighter note, built more like a linebacker, where he was weighing about 235, 240, at best 250. So to me, Dante Fowler was a bit stronger and better at setting the edge and things of that nature at defensive end. So I definitely think the Falcons should suggest or consider bringing in Dante Fowler as a signee for the Atlanta Falcons this upcoming season and for years to come. Now, from what I'm hearing, Dante Fowler Jr. Wants to play for Dan Quinn. They say he was recruited by Dan Quinn when Dan Quinn was at the University of Florida, so that both of them have a good relationship. And I also think that would be something good, where being that they already have a relationship and this player really wants to play for Dan Quinn, I really think that this could be a very good marriage. As you know, with the Vic Beasley and the Falcons marriage didn't go too well. A lot of the fans was kind of split down the middle. A lot of the fans didn't like Vic Beasley, or half the fans was with Vic Beasley, half the fans was against Vic Beasley. But I think that, to me, Dante Fowler will be beloved by our Atlanta Falcons just because he plays with a nastier edge than Vic Beasley. He's a very rough around the edges type of player. Plays with a lot of passion. Looks like he does a little bit of trash talking and stuff like that on the field, where Vic Beasley was more of a quiet type. Personally, I really don't care about trash talkers and stuff like that if you go and back it up on the field. But I do think that Dante Fowler would bring more of an edge to the team than Vic Beasley brought to the Atlanta Falcons. I was a huge fan of Vic Beasley and did think that he was worthy of a new contract. But if we can upgrade over Vic Beasley, I do think that Dante Fowler would be a little bit of an upgrade, because he's a better run stopper, and he's not a player that has to come off the field. He can play all 4 downs or all 3 downs. Where Vic Beasley was a player that kind of was situational. You couldn't play him all the time. Now, with that being said, I do like the direction that the Falcons are moving toward. It looks like the Falcons are trying to rebuild this defensive line, which we should. As you know, in this league, you have to be able to win the trenches on the offensive side and on the defensive side of the ball. So your offensive line must be pretty good, and your defensive line has to be good in order for you to be a contender in this league. You can't have a bad offensive line or defensive line and think that you're going to contend, because you got to be able to stop the run, and you have to be able to put pressure on the quarterback. And on the offensive end, as the offensive line, you must be able to open holes for your running backs, and you better be able to protect the passer. Excuse me. Now, with that being said, I do think that the Falcons should still consider, even if we sign Dante Fowler Jr., I do believe the Falcons still should bring in an edge rusher with that number 16 pick, because you need as many pass rushers as possible. You never can have enough pass rushers. And I learned this from just looking at any of the teams in the league you want to look at, but the best example of this is the 49ers. The 49ers have a ton of pass rushers. This year, they went from like being one of the worst teams in the NFC to winning the whole thing, winning the NFC, and going and playing in the Super Bowl, and was a couple of minutes from winning the Super Bowl. So we need to take a page out of the 49ers book and draft and sign as many pass rushers as possible, and we need to shore up this defensive line. Now, the guys that they're talking about, the Falcons, are picking up AJ Espinoza out of the University of Iowa, or Kayvon Chason out of the University of LSU. I'll be fine with either one of these guys, but I still think we still should sign Dante Fowler Jr. on top of drafting a defensive end, an edge rusher, and a nose tackle. I still believe that we need to address the defensive line, but being that we lost Vic Beasley, we need to sign a player, sign a defensive end, and draft a defensive end to help Tat McKinley and to help Grady Jarrett on this defensive line. I did go in and look up the stats for Vic Beasley and for Dante Fowler Jr. just to see what their numbers were like, because you know they say numbers don't lie. And personally, I believe, like I said, that Vic Beasley was a productive player, and his numbers bear it out when I looked up the numbers. I did a whole video about 2 months ago saying why the Falcons should re-sign Vic Beasley. But at this point, you know, that's water under the bridge, because they have come out and said that we're not looking to re-sign Vic Beasley. So I'm going to just give you the numbers, comparing the two. Over the career, Vic Beasley's sack numbers for his career is 37.5 sacks. He did lead the league in sacks in 2016. Dante Fowler Jr.'s sack numbers for a career was 27.5 sacks over his career. So Vic Beasley does have 10 career sacks more than Dante Fowler Jr., but Dante Fowler Jr. was injured his whole rookie season. So that kind of factors in. If you're getting, it's possible to get 10 sacks in a season. So I think their numbers would be a lot closer if Dante Fowler Jr. didn't miss that initial season, his rookie season, with that ACL injury, where he tore his ACL. Now, far as quarterback pressures or quarterback hits over a career, Vic Beasley has 36 quarterback hits. Dante Fowler Jr. has 43 quarterback hits. So Dante Fowler did have Vic Beasley beat in those numbers. Last year, individually, Dante Fowler Jr. had 16 quarterback hits. And Vic Beasley had 12 quarterback hits this past season. Now, over their careers, forced fumbles, Vic Beasley has 11 career forced fumbles, and Dante Fowler has 6 career forced fumbles. So that goes to show you, like I said, for all of those people out there that hates Vic Beasley and thinks Vic Beasley is not a solid defensive end or not a solid edge rusher, they're sadly mistaken. He is a solid pass rusher and a pretty good edge rusher. Did force fumbles with the Atlanta Falcons, and did have that stellar year where he was all first team defense when he led the league in sacks with 15.5 sacks in 2016 to help the Falcons advance to the Super Bowl. So with that being said, like I said, I will be fine with the Atlanta Falcons bringing in Dante Fowler Jr. and signing him to a long-term deal. I do believe that he would bring that edge that we need to this team, and you always need a veteran pass rusher on the team. So I still want us to draft players that can play under Dante Fowler Jr. and can learn some things from Tack McKinley and from Dante Fowler. But I definitely think that we should look at bringing him in and not just rely on these rookies that we're trying to sign, because anytime you come in the rookie year, most players, when they come in their rookie year, they don't set the world on fire. They need time to adjust to the speed of the NFL game and just adjust to playing against grown men. So with that being said, if you bring Dante Fowler Jr. right in, he could definitely be one of the X factors for our Falcons team next season. Now, the other player that I want to address is, everybody knows that we're looking to re-sign Austin Hooper. Austin Hooper wants a new deal. They're saying that it's possibly going to cost us $10 million per season to bring Austin Hooper back. I do believe that Austin Hooper is worth every single penny, and I would do my best to bring Austin Hooper back if possible. I know we really don't want to break the bank, but we may have to. And I feel like Austin Hooper has earned his keep with the Atlanta Falcons. He's made 2 back-to-back Pro Bowls. He's almost caught for over 1,000 yards 2 seasons in a row. And I really think that Austin Hooper has been very durable, hasn't had many injuries at all. And that's what's really throwing me for a loop for all of these reports coming out that the Falcons should go after Hunter Henry. To be honest, I'm not a huge Hunter Henry fan. I have watched his career, him and Austin Hooper's career. There are 2 players also that came in during the same draft. And to me, Austin Hooper is the better player or the superior player. Hunter Henry has had some serious injuries over the last couple seasons, and he has really struggled to get on the field, and that has really cost the Chargers. And it has, I think it's going to cost Hunter Henry some money, because I don't think he can demand on the market what Austin Hooper could demand on the market, and that's for good reason. I did go in and take a look at their numbers, their career numbers, career high numbers. Hunter Henry compared to Austin Hooper, the highest amount of receptions Hunter Henry has ever caught in a season was 55, which was this past season. Austin Hooper's highest career receptions in a season is 75, which was this last season. Mind you, that's not counting the games that Austin Hooper missed this season, which I believe he had like a ankle injury, or he had hurt his leg or something like that, a sprained MCL. One of those things he hurt. I know he hurt his leg during this past season and missed like 2 or 3 games. So even with him missing those 2 or 3 games, he did catch 75 balls, and he did total yards receiving. He did have 787 yards receiving, which could have possibly been a 1,000-yard season if he didn't miss those couple games. Now, Hunter Henry last year had 652 yards receiving and 5 total touchdowns. Austin Hooper had 6 touchdowns on the season. So pretty much in every single category, Austin Hooper has Hunter Henry beat. And Hunter Henry did miss a full season in 2018 with injury. So personally, I think that Austin Hooper is just a better player. And as they say, the best ability is availability. And I do think that Austin Hooper is just a better player in general. He's been the healthier player over his career. And he has already built the camaraderie and built the relationship with Matt Ryan. And they are on the same page. Excuse me. Matt Ryan and Austin Hooper are on the same page. They do work out with each other in the offseason. And I do think that him and Austin Hooper, meaning Matt Ryan and Austin Hooper, are on the same wavelength. And that takes time to build that chemistry and to be on the same wavelength when it comes to those option routes and when it comes to trusting a player, throwing the ball up there, throwing the ball up high, and, expecting the receiver to go up and catch the ball at his highest point. That was showed this year between Austin Hooper and Matt Ryan. It really showed in the red zone that Matt Ryan trusted Austin Hooper, and he just threw the ball to a spot and expected Austin Hooper to go up and make the catch. And I don't think that's something that you can teach. That's not a chemistry that you can really build in the offseason with. The only way to build that camaraderie and that, being on the same wavelength and building that chemistry is playing NFL games. And Hooper and Matt Ryan has been in the same foxhole before, so they trust each other. If you go in and you take Austin Hooper, who is Matt Ryan's safety valve or his safety net, I really think that this could spell trouble for our Atlanta Falcons if we don't decide to re-sign Austin Hooper. Now, to be completely honest, if we're not able to re-sign Austin Hooper, I would be fine with us drafting a Thaddeus Moss or drafting another tight end and playing or starting Jaden Graham, because Jaden Graham showed this year that he does have promise. Out of Yale, he is a good, tall, physical tight end, and he showed that he could run. So if we can't re-sign Austin Hooper for whatever reason, financial reasons or whatever, I definitely think that we should just go ahead and promote Jaden Graham to the starting tight end role, and then start developing a rookie that we may end up drafting, because I don't believe that we should sign Hunter Henry. I wouldn't spend any money on Hunter Henry, even if we can't re-sign Austin Hooper. But with me saying that, you guys just let me know what you think in the comments about this video. Let me know if you would like to sign Hunter Henry, if you would like us to sign Dante Fowler Jr. But this being your boy Jew, I'm going to holler at you guys in the next video. As always, rise up. Peace.